Well, it's quite obvious by the name of this YouTube channel that the goal is to talk about all things related to Lithuania. And so it's absolutely necessary to cover this specific shirt, a shirt that caught the attention of the world and even made an appearance on the hit TV show Friends. Well, kind of, because I learned that the design of Phoebe's shirt isn't the original. Now, I bet that most Lithuanians already know about this shirt. And considering the fact that over 50% of my channel's audience watches from Lithuania, this probably isn't anything new for a lot of people watching. Still, it just seems necessary to cover this big moment in modern Lithuanian history on the channel. And after doing research for this video, it also seems necessary to tell the story accurately, since it seems like some false versions have been circulating around the internet. And if you have no idea what I'm talking about, then let me explain. First off, this video is brought to you by the members of this YouTube channel, who offer financial support every month. If you're interested in becoming a member, there's a link in the description. So let's begin the story of this shirt in 1990, when Lithuania declared its independence from the Soviet Union. While the details of this declaration will definitely be covered in another video, the end result of this would of course be an independent Lithuania. Independence for Lithuania meant a lot of things, but in the area of international sports, it meant that Lithuanian athletes could once again compete under their own flag, and not for the Soviet Union. Fast forward to 1992, and the Summer Olympic Games in Barcelona were coming up fast. Sadly, Lithuania's Olympic basketball team was still in need of some funds, and apparently some $200,000 US. According to a recent feature published by USA Today Sports, Lithuanian basketball player Šarūnas Marčiulionis was backstage at the end of a Grateful Dead concert in March of 1992. Marčiulionis was fundraising for the Lithuanian Basketball Federation so that a team could be sent to compete in the Olympics. After meeting the band members, Marčiulionis handed Dennis McNally, the band's publicist at the time, a letter. This letter asked if the Grateful Dead's nonprofit, the Rex Foundation, might consider financially supporting the Lithuanian basketball team's efforts to get into the Olympics. In the USA Today Sports article, Marčiulionis is quoted as saying the following about the Grateful Dead. They're free-minded people. We had just become a free country. There was a freedom connection. Maybe they would catch that feeling for a new country that wanted to build a new history and a basketball history. McNally passed the request on to Lawrence Ramrod Shurtleff, the band's chief roadie and Grateful Dead Productions Corporation president. Even though financing an Olympics team was unlike anything else the Rex Foundation supported, Ramrod helped to get the request approved. This is what Grateful Dead guitarist Bob Weir was quoted as saying. The Lithuanian basketball team, these aren't homeless people. This isn't a soup kitchen. But at the same time, here's something that can do a lot of good for a lot of people. That whole country of Lithuania can have a spirit of national identity, and these people can go to the Olympics. Through the Rex Foundation, a $5,000 donation was provided, a relatively small fraction of the funds needed. But it was hoped that the donation would inspire others to give and support the cause. Sure enough, the publicity of the donation pushed Martin Leffer and the late Mike Fitzgerald to get involved. The two were vendors who sold Grateful Dead merchandise and had separately become friends with Ramrod. When I met Šarūnas, he explained to me what was going on. It really touched my heart, Leffer said in the article. Fitzgerald and Leffer collaborated on an effort to help the team, and this is how the tie-dye outfits came about. Greg Spears was the creator of the design, which is a skeleton dunking a basketball. Spears grew up wearing tie-dye t-shirts in the 1960s and told USA Today Sports that he had two very specific influences when making the design. Spears explained that the design was meant to convey the idea of a phoenix rising from the ashes, and in this context, the figurative phoenix was Lithuania rising up and having victory over communism. Spears added that the Bible was the other part of his inspiration, that the skeleton comes from chapter 37 of the book of Ezekiel, which tells of a vision of dry bones in the middle of a valley. He notes that the skeleton dunking shows the dead coming alive, a celebration of life and rebirth. Dyed in the colors of Lithuania's national flag, the gifts were well received. The players wore the shirts everywhere, and some players went so far as to cut them into tank tops. Rytis Sabas, editor-in-chief of the Lithuanian Basketball Federation, was quoted as saying that the shirt and shorts were funny looking, but you instantly can recognize it as this Lithuanian team. A newly independent Lithuania defeating the former USSR at the 1992 Olympics, the bronze medal game became a larger symbol of a reborn country fighting for its freedom and recognition. Having won the bronze, Team Lithuania was supposed to attend the ceremony in their Adidas-sponsored green shirts, but Marčiulionis didn't want to do it. "We were very proud to wear those shirts," he said. Life used to be pale, no colors, no excitement. It was like a black and white movie where we lived. Now this was something fresh, something different. Everybody was like jaw-dropped when they saw. Team member Alvydas Pazdratis said. Everybody was amazed and surprised, and at the same time, they were thrilled to see somebody doing something out of the box. Catching the world's attention with something so unique and flashy, the shirt became incredibly popular around the world, but especially in Lithuania. The popularity of the shirt would lead to several groups selling them. This included the Grateful Dead, the Golden State Warriors basketball team, and Ticketmaster. Much of the proceeds were given to Lithuanian schools and to the Lithuanian Children's Fund. There's much more that can be said about the shirt, its design inspiration, and its popularity. I could talk about the copycat designs, the version for the 1996 Olympic Games, Nike's 2020 special collection, and much more. But really, I'm just summarizing the story told in this article written by USA Today's NBA staff writer, Brian Kalbrowski. I think it's definitely worth checking out the full article with every little detail written by Kalbrowski, who interviews so many key people involved in the story. Written in September 2022, he even links to a few warped versions to demonstrate how some inaccuracies around the t-shirts are still circulating. So that's why I'll put a link to the article in the description, so be sure to check it out. Even though the original design is now 30 years old, I think this is probably the most popular t-shirt in the world associated with the country of Lithuania. So if you only just learned about it today, well, congratulations. I'm sure with this shirt's unique design now in your memory, you'll be recognizing it a lot more, probably at certain basketball games. My thanks again to the channel members for their monthly support, and a big thank you to everyone else for watching. With all of that said, I'll see you next time.